Oh, who knows it? If someone knows this, I will be extremely impressed. Extremely. Natasha! You know it? You have 20 odd seconds until it wraps up. Yeah, if you are 21 or younger, this soundtrack predates you. Oh wait, sorry, 31. Oh man. 31. I missed 10 years there by accident, I apologize. This is back in the day when there were soundtracks that were like dictated by the sound card you had. So this was the ad-lib, the PC ad-lib version. Here comes the Roland MT32 version. How sick is this? And who wants to hear the Sound Blaster 16 version? It keeps going. Here it comes. Ready? And... Stunts, of course. Yeah, the drums are like just left ear. Oh man. It's pretty sick though, right? I still prefer this one. I played with this version, like when I was a kid, right? So I feel like this is the best one. It's probably just nostalgia. Yeah, stunts. Actually, so my wife was at an event just the other night, and she crossed paths with a guy who was like, yeah, you know, we sold our company to EA quite some time ago. I'm just in the game dev scene, and I moved to like, you know, other industries since. And turns out it was like a pretty high up guy, and also he like was at Distinctive Software. I was like, what, stunts? Like back in the day? Yeah, so this is Distinctive Software made stunts. It's kind of funny. Also known as 4D Sports Driving. Isn't that a sick alternate name? 4D Sports Driving. Oh man, all 4 dimensions. All of them. And here, Roland. Let's go. That's too good. Yeah, this game was the real deal. It was actually fantastic. It was, if you don't know it, it was a 3D racing game made in 1990. How crazy is that? It's amazing. It's actually amazing. And not only that, there was a track editor. I'll zoom in here. Check this out. It was like a top-down, grid-based track editor, and then you could drive in 3D on the tracks you made. That's crazy. Isn't that insane? For 1990? I snuck this game into my grade 5 elementary classroom's computer on a floppy disk with masking tape labeled stunts. I'm pretty sure it was a pirated copy. Yeah, here's the, I'll do this one here. The menu track, but here's the original menu track. This one? Man. Yeah, so there was like, there was all these opponents that had, it's probably a long play somewhere, right? We just search that. Like, stunts long play. Like DOS. Is that gonna find it? Right? Broderbund. Carmen Sandiego, right? Distinctive Software, there it is. Look at this! This is amazing! This is just the intro video for the company. What? That's amazing. It's in space. Man. Alright, yes, there's like these various characters you could like compete against, like Squealin' Bernie Rubber, this guy. And the animation at the end is like why you try to beat him, or beat them, whoever it is. This guy's like monocle falls out. Anyway, just in case you want to hear that when you track on loop, here it is in Isotope, don't worry. That's what I did in the 2 minutes before the stream. Hi everyone. Game is sick. Go play it if you can on DOSBox. It's fantastic. It's very good. It's actually crazy. You can watch your replays and stuff. So if you had crazy crashes, you could like watch the replay and not just in the same camera angles as you play the game in, like from in the cab or from behind or whatever. There was like a cinematic camera too, like as if you're at an F1 race. And there's fixed cameras in certain positions along the track. And it's like watches the car go by. It's like you're watching your own awesome race on TV, televised. Crazy, enrapturing for like a 6-year-old brain like mine at the time. Crazy. It's actually amazing. Oh, that was me loading FL. Right there. In the middle. That recorded audio. Alright, that's fine. Anyway, hi everyone. Thanks for tolerating this little rant about the incredible history of 3D, should I say 4D sports driving games. Harley and Singh, Natasha, Andrew, Viraj. There you are. V2, right? Excited to see how far you've come. Vitor Amato, yo, Gustav Sound. Hello, hella good audio again. What up? Sneaking in while working. Ninja Eyes. Yeah, shifty. There it is. Catastrophe X. Hey Kevin, this is the first time I've caught this channel live. Cool cat. Glitch cat. Awesome. Glad you're here. John Gap. These tunes are out of control. It's too good. Right? Riley Circles. Chris Bollinger. Obi Audio. Matt Galt. Tony Lays. Oh yes, sound card MIDI. Welcome on in, Tony. Glad you're here. Have a good time. Who else? Brandon Clark. Yuso. We got... And Coal Miner Audio. That's Kevin? Is your name Kevin? I was second guessed when someone's name is Kevin. I'm like, am I just thinking of myself? There it is. Muse Hive, what up? If that is the Kevin I think it is, Kevin Collier, right? I think I understand who you are. Yeah, I saw your messages. I'm sorry. I've fallen behind on scheduling stuff, but I have it on my schedule like today and tomorrow to get that dealt with. Yeah, so also Angus and Peter, if you're in the chat, I will definitely hit you back soon. We missed, of course, stream 2 weeks ago as I was away. I was out of the province. Just fully neglected to consider the ramifications, specifically the ramifications on this stream. So apologies if you rolled in and this did not happen. And also, because I think I scheduled today's demos to be reviewed, I think I scheduled this during the madness of planning my wedding, and as such there are 3 people. Gustav, I'm glad you hit me up, because I was like, oh man, you are scheduled today. Whoops. So we have 3 people we're gonna blast through. Okay, it's gonna be real efficient, real effective, and real exciting. These tunes really setting the stage for this non-stop thrill ride, white knuckle action, real talk stream. It's gonna be good. Look at these like falling notes here. So sick. So sick. Real efficient, real effective, real exciting. this FL sound. All right, start the timer. Yeah, start that stopwatch, right? Okay. Also, this file's name is ohyeah.wave. Okay. Aftertouch Audio. Thanks for following, yo. Let's have a look at some reels and not at 4D sports driving. Dognet in the chat. That's my brother Colin. He knows this game well. We played a lot of stunts. There's actually a bug in the game where if you like, I was showing you the track editor, right? So if you drew like, you can see it has scroll bars. So the area is quite large actually that you can make your track in. It's kind of staggering for its time. And there's like altitude differences. These hills here, it's just so crazy. A little decor, a little ship and a windmill. If you made the longest possible track and then drove the fastest car and you put a jump at the end of the track, what would happen is, of course, like the boundaries of the map, which is like this chain link fence. Because like, game developers to this day need ways to enforce, boundaries for the playing area. And there are various solutions to this problem, of course, but one of them is just put a wall there. Just put a wall that extends infinitely up and down. And the thing is, you couldn't collide with the wall. You couldn't crash your car into the chain link fence. You just like slam into it and your speed would just stop typically. But if you put the longest track possible and then a jump at the very end and then just like loop back to the beginning to make the track valid, if you did that, what would happen is your speed would lock at like a over the highest speed possible like state, and then you'd hit the wall and you just like drive along the wall at this crazy high speed state, and it wouldn't ever slow down unless you let go of the gas. And you kind of like scoot along the wall and like slowly turn the car and go along, and eventually you'd start like twisting and twirling into the air, and you'd shoot vertically into space basically. And then if you watch the replay with the cinematic camera, imagine again the fixed position cameras like watching the car go by. The fixed positions just ended up being subsequently these like points in the air as the car's going higher and higher. So it's like straight by you vertically. Oh, great game. So good. I played a lot of that in Mrs. Woloshin's classroom. Thanks, grade 5. Let's close that window. And these ones too. I'll leave this one open, the sick SB16 version. But we'll do, we'll listen to that again at the end of the stream. How about that? Okay, if it is your first time on Real Talk, there's a few people here chilling for the first time. We are doing some demo reel reviews, yes, game audio specific. These are some folks who are looking at some traction and to land a gig in whatever corner of the industry they might be aiming for. That might be indie games or working at a studio like ours, like an outsourcing house doing third-party work. Could be a AAA team, could be just freelancing for a variety of things, whatever it might be. And we are here to offer some constructive criticism. That's myself, of course, on stream. I'm Kevin Regamy at Power Up Audio. And you in the chat, feel free to add your own ideas. There's a lot of folks in chat who are gainfully employed in game audio and are always happy to offer their own opinions and hot takes and golden nuggets of truth bombs or otherwise, yes? So, we're looking at a few things on stream today for these three people. We're looking at Viraj, Ramsharan, we're looking at Gustav Wall, and Andrew J. Ryan. We're looking at these criteria down below. That's presentation, material selection, content quality, and distinction. So for presentation, we're looking at the website in general, just navigation stuff, information stuff. Does it have what we want to see, and is it easy to find, basically? Is it too much or not enough, that kind of thing. Stuff like typos and little details come into play here. It's kind of everything that's not the audio itself, yeah? And that goes for the demo reel, too. How long it is, what the flow is like, the transitions, the titling, the bookends on each end, contact info, all these things. For material selection, we're looking at the pieces selected for the demo reel and for the portfolio, if there is a portfolio, and what those various pieces might communicate beyond just the sound of them, like what they might say about this person's past work history or their current skill sets, or what they might want to be doing in the future, just ambition-wise. And next up, content quality. Down here, we've got just the question of, is it good or not? Is there room to improve? And there pretty much always is. Like, me too, of course. We're always looking to improve in some respect. And you can always kind of go in different directions, right, as far as how you want to branch and what area of audio you want to work in or specialize in. So if I see something I think you could improve in terms of how to make your mix more engaging or whatever, I'll be happy to let you know. And I'm sure, again, people in the chat will be happy to offer their own opinions as well. And finally, this distinction is, are you standing out in some positive way? As there are a whole lot of people who want to, get the gig, basically. And on that note, I want to say congrats. I guess this would have happened last stream, Natasha, but I wasn't here last stream. So, Natasha Faye is our new sound designer at Power Up Audio. So, congrats, yo. We're stoked. We're stoked. It's happening very soon. We'll have you on board and do some excellent and fun and exciting work. It's going to be really great. And yeah, I can. I guess at this point, yeah, I can divulge. We had over 250 applications for the sound designer position at Power Up. So it was like I'm saying, distinction. It's kind of important to stand out in some way because holy crap, it's a lot to go through, right? There's a whole lot. And I mean, going through everything, I was doing the parsing on kind of like the first glance on everyone's applications to kind of start sorting things a little bit. Like, I will take a second look, maybe not this time around, whatever it might be. And like, there are absolutely people in that batch that I forgot right away, like after I close the tab, and they just blur into the background. It might be, they're probably like wonderful people, but in terms of how they're presenting their work, it just is samey, or it blurs into the work everyone else is doing or whatever. It's just, for whatever reason, it's just not standing out in a positive way or a significant way. So, yeah, it's just kind of how it goes, right? It's really important to try and find that distinction in some way. So, let's dive in here. Again, we have 3 people. So we have, let's see here, 20, we have 60, 70 minutes. What's the math there? Like 23 minutes apiece. So, okay, let's start the countdown. Let's start the timer. Get that 40 sports driving stopwatch going. Okay, Andrew J. Ryan, I'll do first. I saw you in the chat first. And Andrew also recently scored himself a really great gig. Is that true? Andrew, confirm. It's true. Save the frame, Steve. You got it. Exactly. Okay, we got demo about work feed contact at the top. Excuse me. We got a vertical page, looks like. Work. Does it go down? It does. Feed goes down. Yeah. This is a lot of real estate at the top here. Is that due to my zooming? It is, yeah. So zooming in makes that top part larger. So pretty soon you're just like only seeing the title bar. I don't know if that matters, but it's a little bit annoying for this stream, but it's okay. We'll survive. If I'm making the text big enough for you at home to read, almost like 40% of the window is the top bar. But oh well, we'll survive. Okay, we got an about page or about section. I'll zoom in a bit. It's a little bit challenging. 150. Okay. Here's Andrew listening in. Hi, I'm Andrew, a game sound designer currently working at MI Studios. I don't know it. In Melbourne, Australia. As an audiophile and lifelong gamer, my career goal is to work on highly detailed, immersive AAA games, whether at home or abroad. Pending. Okay, so we'll hold off on the applause then. Maybe next stream you can let us know what's up, yeah? Okay, I'm currently working on 2 first-person shooter titles at MI Studios. Is it MI? Steam releases, TBC, focusing on audio systems creation and ambience / spot SFX / Foley, capital F, / weapon / creature design / implementation in Unreal, as well as other projects. Software. Wise. I don't know more about you, yo. Give us a little nugget about you personally. This is only your strictly career stuff, yeah? Who are you? What do you do? Do you like doing jigsaw puzzles? Tell me. Okay, we got Wise, Fmod, UE4, UE5, Unity, Reaper, Pro Tools, RX, and Perforce. Only Perforce. Sure. Sound design, implementation, field recording, full performance, dialogue editing, blueprints, visual scripting. All right. Yes, Jack Foley, of course. So the capital F was not hey, you capitalized F incorrectly. I was like, as in Jack? Yes, you got it. Okay, wonderful. One does not master Perforce, it masters you. Yeah, yeah, it does. When you accidentally right-click and say check out rather than get latest. I've done that before. I was just like unplug your computer at that point. Okay, we got work redacted. Okay. Is that the name of it, or is this like not known yet? Is this like a sneak peek screenshot? What is this? Or is it called redacted? Current games. I don't know this game. Cat knows far too much. Cat's dropping the info when you hear the deets. Because the name of the game, redacted, follows the aftermath of an alien bug outbreak in a military dock facility. Cool. All right, I don't know it, but great. Good on you. Time for death. All right. We have various things here. Oh, is it like one of these? I don't like these. This is so deceptive. You could look how easily you can miss that arrow, you know? Very easily. And this is like, what's happening here? It's just you? These blog posts? Like, what is this? These are, oh, they're images with some additional info. Is Instagram like embedded or something? No. 21 weeks. Maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, Slovakia. Very fun. Some Fmod stuff. I can't hear it. Oh, here we go.
Startup. Startup initialized.
Interactive spaceship. I see. Those various things here, I see. Cool. All right. Well, we may get into that. We have 23 minutes to get through this stuff. So, let's watch a reel, shall we? This is, I feel claustrophobic with this top title bar here. Oh, we're just starting in. Okay, hold up. Turn off my sidechain. Make sure my audio is cranked. It is. All right, let's go. All right. Some claps in the chat, please. Please, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, that was a very Foley heavy reel. Maybe the Foley, the heaviest, the Foley heaviest? Foley heaviest is like one word. The Foley heaviest reel I've ever seen, maybe. It's way up there. And it's dangerous. I did feel myself getting a bit sleepy. I try not to like lose attention, but it's like a careful balance to like Kevin stay engaged and also like the thing keeping me engaged, like whether I like it or not, you know? The Foleyest, yes, exactly. And so the intro being, love that, so nice. It's cool. This intro, not the intro, but the first clip is a little bit bold because there's not much happening. You know? The Foley's strong though. So that's the thing. It's like this is real. It's tricky. It's like bold and it might go in your favor or not. You know? It's the classic advice being, hey, like within 10 seconds, make me want to hear more. That's your goal. And your first 10 seconds here there's just not a lot happening, you know? These feel great. I believe the feet, as far as weight and sound and stuff. This is fine. The little this is nice. The different ambience in the air kind of got me off guard. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think just strictly presentation-wise, 30 seconds of this, 34 seconds of this, in a minute 8 reel, you know, that's half the reel, right? For this pretty not much happening clip. And it's designed like this, sure. Like just the video is designed like that. But yeah, it's just bold. Just be aware of that. This feels like a good... Well, I'll put it this way. When I've seen reels where there is a Foley or like a UI or some or ambience element to it, it's oftentimes like a later addition to the reel. It starts off strong and engaging, and it's like, hey, but wait, you know, I have the softer stuff too. I got the finer details. Check it out. And it's like, oh, okay, sure. And you've already got our attention, so I'm a little more enthusiastic at that point, and like tolerant. And yeah, I'm just more willing, either consciously or not, to watch something if I already think this person's stuff sounds great. I'm like, oh, cool, let's hear some ambience work. Oh, cool, let's hear some Foley work, you know? But to start off with ambience only for like, let's just see what there is in the first 10 seconds. Strong intro. And by the way, I don't want to just gloss over the fact that doing glitches in a way that sounds good is not easy. It's not at all a default easy thing to do. I've heard a lot of real trash sounding static design, you know, static and glitching design where I'm like, oh God, just like poking you in the eardrums, right? So this is really nice. Cool. And now we're at 10 seconds. So we've heard a cool intro, nice work. And then into that, we're like, okay, we're primed for some awesome stuff. And then we hear ambience, some footsteps, and barely some gun Foley, you know, in 10 seconds. So it's a bit bold. But let's carry on here. I saw Ulysses ask, is there an opinion on not having versus having a logo? Yeah. Well, do you mean like a logo like this, like a designed thing, versus just having, say, your name, you know, sound designed by Ulysses or whatever? Having something is worthwhile for sure. Having nothing at all, it's dangerous for a few reasons. If you have an opening clip, you can have some fading in sound to set things like volume expectation. You know, if I play this, it's like, cool, we have sound. Let's just transition into the piece too. It just is more like there's more production quality, and therefore that just reads as more. Well, I read this candidate, this person who's making this thing, as being more serious and therefore less risk to me, the employer. Again, I'm just role playing here. Versus, just imagine this starting here. No fade in, no like nothing. It just starts. This is far more jarring, and there's no like setting the stage. There's no, you know, sit back. Okay, let's have a little journey here. Take me on a journey, Andrew. Right? We don't have that. It just starts from nothing. So there's certainly a spectrum there. This is towards the top end of that spectrum as far as things being designed. This is definitely a little more involved than just like fading in white text on a black background. But white text on a black background is still better than nothing. So it's kind of like how much work do you want to put into this thing, and then just go from there. Okay, let's talk about some more transition stuff. Also, we have the Zvi Sherman method. There it is. Lower third fades, half opacity. Yeah, wonderful. Zvi Sherman. Nailed it. Moving on. We have the reverb through the transition. Very nice. Zvi Sherman and go. Fade. Yes. Wonderful. This transition now. This one. Oh. No crossfade. Boom. Here we are. Is there one here? Wasn't there? Yeah, crossfade here. So crossfade on the first one, but not in the second one. Weird. Zap goes fast. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Zap goes fast. What up? Welcome on in. No crossfade is weird, Andrew. And then we have the text fading in. Kind of. The top one doesn't, the bottom one does. This fades in, this doesn't. And then the background just pops out. This is a missed opportunity here at the very end. You have a drop off of the clip. You have like, what, 4 seconds left in the video? Why not have our hero, the Foley in the background still, underneath the blackness, you know? Keep it going. Why not? Also, your Twitter icon has black on the outside of it, right? It's not like a transparency PNG, but your Instagram one doesn't. Details, that's it. These are not things that will lose you the job, but they're just small things that, you know, you just risk being noticed and distracting them from the thing they should be looking at, which is your awesome audio work, right? Okay, so let's talk about some material selection. I mean, you already said AAA stuff in your bio. It's likely they didn't read your bio first, mind you. It's our assumption, of course, going in is that most people, again, read Power Up got 250 plus applications, right? Candidates to go through. We don't really necessarily have time. We or any developer, any team, those in charge of recruitment don't necessarily have time to like read a full bio and parse a full site like we do on Real Talk. They'll probably go straight to your demo reel and, like I said, in 10 seconds decide if they want to hear more or not. If they don't, they'll close the tab and never look back. It just is the reality of it. It's not mean, but imagine putting 20 minutes in a 250 pages. Like, it's just way too much, right? You need to go fast to get through things. You make a lot of like kind of snap judgment calls, whether or not those are deserved or not is kind of just like a casualty of how the process works. I mean, there are people that I can tell you, we passed over when we hired Craig, for instance, our last employee, or our previous hire. And like, we love Craig so much. He's an amazing addition to this team. He's doing some sick work right now. But the fact remains, there are people we passed over who I know are killing it in the industry right now. I'm like, man, how do you just miss that person entirely? And it might just be their demo wasn't made in a way that kept us interested in the way that we're looking for. And that's all it comes down to, right? There you go. So let's talk about some material selection a little more. So we have AAA stuff. This is obviously pretty hi-fi. We have some Naughty Dog. We have some Undead Labs, right? We're looking for some high fidelity stuff. One sec. See, my wife's returned home. My door was wide open. Let's move on. This is obviously AAA, so good job. You have effectively communicated the kind of jobs you want to have, and that's all there is to it. Moving on. Let's do some content quality stuff now. Yes? Okay, in our last few minutes of your review. Again, really strong Foley throughout. There's some great stuff in here. I love this intro. Oh, spacebar doesn't do anything. There we go. Does that work? Yes. So one thing is this Foley has like a bit of a reverb tail or something. It sounds like it's in a room. But whereas the footsteps are kind of just like very close mic'd and like kind of dead. Like, not sure what happened there. And same thing with that too. This like little touch has a slight reverb on it too. But like, where are we? It's not gonna be reflecting off walls or like a cavern or something, right? So this feels like maybe the recorded source is verby, or maybe just made a choice to make it verby, but it feels, yeah, it doesn't feel like, if I close my eyes, I don't see myself being in a snow-covered clearing. Snow has a very dampening effect on a reverb and such, right? Yeah, it could be just the source you're using. Just be aware of that. Designing things like this, it's pretty important to have that like really dry source material to work with, yeah? And then here, is this a horse? It's like a deer or something. It's like, okay, it's not antlers. Antlers. So, okay. That sounds very horse-ish. Again, and no reverb again, so there's a bit of a disconnect there. This here I'm curious what the original trailer sounds like, because it's like we're looking through a scope. This thing is far away, but this sounds so like in our face, right? So maybe that's cool for like a cinematic reason. I don't know. It's a hard choice to make. I'm not sure what I'd do there, but it did strike me as loud with the scope. I'm like, oh, it's far away, but it sounds like it's right in front of us. Like it's like, well, she has a parabolic mic also to hear what this sounds like. You know, I don't know. And then this scream, I'm also curious what the original sounds like, because this sounds way more monster than animal to me. Again, close eyes, 3, 2, 1. Like that's full on like dragon, you know, that's very large monster roaring. And I kind of want to hear, that's a cool like 1, 2 though. Yeah, it's like an Annihilation, that movie, you know? They have the kind of like the bear thing, and it sounds kind of like a person and a bear at the same time because it's like a mix of the two. But it doesn't sound like otherworldly monstrous. It sounds grounded, you know? So I feel like this zombie deer, I mean, again, I'm not sure what the original sounds like. Maybe it sounds like that, but if I was I was giving you feedback on this and our team was doing it, then yeah, I'd want to have it sound a little more like 60% still the animal, you know? But there's certainly a spectrum there. I mean, some zombie movies, the zombies sound like people, and sometimes they sound like these horrible like ghouls shrieking and, you know, roaring. So it's your choice. Sounds cool though. Nice roar. Presley, did I get here just in time for the Annihilation Bear Love? OMG. That you did. Welcome on in. Okay, so Josh has some good points there in the chat too. Also drops ambience way too much. I think ambience in general, someone else said in the chat that they could probably pump up the ambience in the opening here. This high shot shows a little more of like the wind we're dealing with, you know? There's a lot of movement here. But in this opening shot, this is like, I don't know, even the snow looks a bit different in this shot than it does from above, so I don't know. It looks like it's falling down more than sideways. Yeah, I think just the ambience just needs some more love. That bird in the background's a nice addition. I think just more ambience in general is going to be, yeah, it's going to be worthwhile. And later on, suddenly you have like, you know, this there, it's like there's so much creature and like no ambience behind it. It's really quiet. Rawr. Okay, here we have some. So this moment, this part is controlled by the player, like the turning, but the flip over is like it's a sequence that plays, right? Boom and flip. I'd love to hear more, like more rotation on that. Because if you close your eyes in this thing and listen to the first kind of like metal dragging sound versus the second one. Here we go. You know, the second movement doesn't sound like that different. It just sounds like it's something else being dragged, kind of so to speak, like drag / scrape, or just being turned around. But all we have is like this right here. That's all we have for contact points, right? Just the end. It's like like kind of a little more pitch turn. It's almost like if you turn something in a circle on metal, it has like kind of like a it has like a natural kind of pitch up and down, kind of inflection to it as you move around. Kind of up and down, something to show a little more of the. I love the finish. Sounds cool, but I think just less. That's my only complaint. Is that I felt this the first time watching this too. I felt like the rotation was a bit too samey with the drag. I think just like less lows too might be a thing. Because there's so much contact during the rotation, so I expect to hear more depth. There's more of it touching the thing, but with the turn, it's just like a small bit. So I feel like this turn is a good it's a good time to come down. The player action is like nice and beefy. They're the ones doing it, and then sequence kind of drop back for a second, and I can so it's kind of like this brief kind of respite from the audio to go back into the slam. It's like a reward at that point, right? Of course, it's like, hey, you did it, good job. Yeah, and Matt's saying a more rewarding sound to be like, hey, you figured it out. Yeah, so that's kind of two things. One is just the inherent reward of a cool sound effect. Good job, you did it. It's like my favorite thing, some multi-stage door opening or something. You've been working to open for the last 2 hours of gameplay. Finally, it opens. The sound of the door can be a reward in of itself. You don't need to have a do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Good job, it's musical. Here's a big chimey chorus thing happening for you. It doesn't have to be that way. It can. But depending upon the creative direction of the project, it might be a balance between the two. Maybe it's like all just straight up. All we have is like a Zelda. Good job, you figured out the secret. We have that sound, like a little bit of the articulation of the physicality itself. Or maybe there's none of that. It's just simply here is what it sounds like to be in that room. We're capturing a moment. That's it. So it's your call. I'm fine with it being only the sound of the thing. It's cool. And finally, we'll blast through this last bit. This whole clip struck me as quiet and underdesigned. I know it's pretty Foley heavy. But we have yells. But we don't have anything else before that. So you chose to do voice, that's fine, but if you choose to do voice, now the voice I'm missing, I'm seeing is missing. Like beforehand, she's over there, whatever. This fire doesn't strike me as particularly dangerous. It's a bit like Bunsen burner, You need some more crackling in there. All that stuff, Go full broadband, make it scarier. Yeah, just some issues there. So, and then because this is so kind of under-designed, yeah, it's just it makes this stuff sound like it's in a different space too. Cool. I won't comment on the gun stuff itself, but feel free to in the chat. I'm not a big gun guy. I don't know guns. But yeah, I mean, strong design across the board. Just it's a little bit sleepy on the whole, and I think your design is strong enough that you could be doing some more engaging things. And just from an angle of, I have no idea what a big moment sounds like to you. We have that gunfire, that's big-ish, but there's no, here's a building coming down, or here's an explosion, or here's like just a multi-stage door opening, whatever it is. I think there's room to show us more there, All right, distinction-wise, yeah, I think this is definitely worth a look, though. If I were to be, in charge of hiring at some company, I'd probably want to, my first question would be, hey, do you have any examples of more happening? So it's a great moment to kind of predict, or not moment, great opportunity for you to kind of predict the kind of questions that someone might ask, and say, oh, well, I'll prepare the answer for them and put it on the page. So if I say, this is all cool, do they have anything a little more, bombastic? Oh, they do. Here it is, right? There's a video. Boom. Anyways. Okay. And Josh says, would love to see implementation thing in the Reel 2, of course, naturally. I saw the Unreal stuff. This is nice to see, but doesn't really show much. It's like everything's far away, and I can't read what the parameters do, and you're not telling us what they do. You're just showing us what it sounds like. Just having more to walk us through and just illustrate your passion for your work through how you talk about it, of course, right? Goes a long way. Yeah, so just more design, larger, more exciting, more complex things taking place, less in isolation. That's something else. Is in this video, in the demo reel on the whole, a bit less so at the very end, but throughout the rest of it, it's very in isolation. It's like this is design, then this is happening, then this is happening, then this. We have footsteps, we have gun foley, we have a zoom in, we have animal. It's like we're having like step by step. There isn't many things happening, so I'm not getting a sense of your ability to follow and support and drive a narrative forward with your sound design, because this is very spoon-fed. It's like, it's this happening, now this, now this, now this, now this. You kind of have no choice but to support the narrative. It's not you doing the work and you doing the supporting. It's just like the nature of how it's designed, like how the video is designed. So, yeah, that and some, like Josh is saying, throw in some of your tech chops and show us what you got. But otherwise, it's certainly worth a look. It just might not answer all the questions that a recruiter might be, wondering about. So, nice work. I'd love to see a V2 once you put some time into that implementation stuff and maybe some more redesign. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Let's move on to Viraj. Let's do it. This is a V2. This is a V2.0. You excited? I think Viraj is on with Svi, right? Is that what you're saying on Twitter? I believe. I think so. Yeah. It was good last time too. So I'm stoked to hear what else we have in store. We have a page that has separate pages. Do we? Is it loading? I clicked. It's trying. Oh, he's trying. Gameplay, sound design. Portfolio. Wow, so this, like these would typically be like under your portfolio. So what is the difference here? We have Monster Hunter World UI sound redesign. Is that not here? Gameplay sound design? Foley. These are separate. I'm not super clear just by glancing like what the difference is between these pieces and your portfolio. That's the very first thing I'm seeing here. But I don't know. Perhaps we'll see. About me and resume. We don't need to see a resume. It's fine. I recall this picture. It's a good one. I am a sound designer based in London. I try to bring in a lot of character and personal taste as a techno producer to my design. I've heard your stuff. It's good. I love games which are dominated by sci-fi weapons and explosions with an S, as I can let my sound synthesis experience shine through. In the past 3 years of my sound arts and design course in the University of the Arts London, I have worked on numerous student video game, film, and fashion projects. There's the S. In the summer of 2021, I worked as an intern for humanitarian operations and helped make sounds for their unannounced children's mobile game. This gave me an insight into the game development process and, to spaces, how to work as a team, collaborating with different departments. I have been analyzing popular video games, redesigning sounds, and getting feedback from professionals in the audio industry to improve my sound design skills. I am also an avid techno producer, releasing on labels regularly under the alias Bastion Horo. Yeah, it's good. If you recall last time Viraj was on, we listened to some of this stuff, and it was really fun. 3 years ago. Let's go. Awesome. That's a kick right there. All right, moving on. Thanks, pal. We'll leave that tab open again. Just like last time. Like old times, right? Of course. Okay, view portfolio. There's a button again. So back to our page here. It doesn't. This button does nothing. It goes to the top of the same page. Fix that. Fix it. Kevin, locate the drop record. We can't listen to 6 minutes of minimalism. We gotta jump to the meat of the matter, right? So this stream's all about. Inst, linked, and tw. Okay, we got. Okay, maybe in chat, Viraj, let me know what the deal is with portfolio versus these 2 pages. Like, what is your goal in terms of that kind of communication? Yes? For now, the home page has everything I want people to see. Gotta set up the rest. Okay, so home has like the important stuff of implementation, which isn't there also. But here's like just the teaser for that. Or sorry, this is for... Oh, see, here's the thing. So there's no... Okay, this is fine. There's no title here though. So I would put something like this above this one too, because I didn't view this as a divider. This is what I saw when I came to your page, 100%. It's like we have this and then this. So because there's no title at the top, I assume your titling formatting is beneath. So this is implementation here, right? And this thing is like another thing. There's no title for that one either. But now it's, oh, okay, I get it, sure. Implementation. Skills showcase. So like this one is missing a title and this one is too. I know it's here, but still I think it's worth putting it above. Okay, zooming in. Let's glance real quick. We have, okay, Unity and Wise demo. Sorcerer's Path, okay? Skills showcase fully weapon and vehicle. And a VR thing. Okay, let's watch this, shall we? Full volume and no sidechain. You know it. Full screen. 3, 2, 1, and 108 again. There it is. 108. Let's go. Whoa! Oh, that finish is so good. Nice. Very nice. Oh, there's more seconds of nothing. We have 4 seconds of nothing happening at the end. What happened here? Weird. That reel sounded like I expected it to sound. I was looking forward to seeing that. Awesome. Nice work. Okay. I know last time around, I feel like your V1, Viraj, I feel like your V1 feedback was something like, yeah, I can tell you make techno. It was something like that, right? Buzzy Beetle, thank you for joining on the claps. Appreciate that. Welcome. Good to have you. Yeah, I think your feedback was like, yeah, I can tell you do techno because all your stuff is synth. Like it's just, it's all synth, like hard design. So it was cool. I recall it being really cool and like fun to listen to. But I think some of the feedback may have been bringing more physicality too. I don't know, I might be making that up. I'm not sure. That might be just completely fabricated right now. But it's cool. Fun stuff. Strong, like, okay, so Andrew, not to make comparisons, but like, listen to this shit by comparison to yours. Like, this is like, okay, get in here, let's do this, right? This is so engaging. But also, it's so polite in the intro. Okay, that was 10 seconds. So now, I mean, Tony was joking earlier of grabbing the first 10 seconds of all the clips of all the candidates and just putting them on a loop and seeing which one is the best and like hiring that person. But like, it's true. It's true in of course in jest, but it's kind of true. Like, you have this first 10 seconds and this first 10 seconds gives us a really clear idea of what the rest, what we might be in store or what might be in store for us for the rest of the video, right? And that's kind of true of yours too, Andrew. It's like we have this first 10 seconds of like really careful and like kind of like articulate design here and there, and it holds true for your whole video. But this is kind of it's a good like stand up and take notice. Yeah. So yeah, Josh, I hate how it autoplay is at the beginning. Stop autoplaying. It's like if I put the beginning, it's like, oh, you want to watch again, right? Yeah. So the highs in the very beginning is my only feedback. Even just pull the whole thing down, like do a harder fade in, you know, or sorry, this way, harder fade in, just on the intro, because it might be their system's loud, so you're taking some risks by being that loud off the front, but the moment to moment, it's like you know, I often liken the mixing process and the results thereof are kind of like the relationship between you, the mixer, and your audience. It's almost like you're grabbing someone like by the scruff of their neck, right? And your job is to like guide them from thing to thing as far as what to listen to. And if there are massive shifts from moment to moment, like from here to here, the whoosh and the brrrink and into all the mechanical stuff, like that change 1, 2, 3, that's like this, right? Pretty hard yanking back and forth, and that's okay as long as you calm down a bit for a while, right? You can do this occasionally, and that hard shift is just like cinematography, like a hard change in visuals, hard cuts from like light to dark, or big color changes, color palette changes. That kind of jarring change can exist for a reason. And the reason here is to, like Andrew said, sit up in your chair, right? So I think it's really effective. Just be careful your first second is all. Okay, let's talk a little more about presentation. Certainly measures in big time. The late title card's nice, 10 seconds in. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen this clip a lot. This Warframe clip is becoming... it's like moving into overused territory these days. It's getting there. It's not quite into like Assassin's Creed territory, but it is. I feel like I've seen this clip like 30 times now, or more, maybe more. Honestly, it's a lot. This one's strong though. Honestly, from all the ones I've seen, it's pretty good. Let's talk about some lower third stuff. Sidechain is on. Lower third stays up. No, it's V Sherman. Did not learn from the V1 stream. From Steve with whom you shared the stream. It's alright, it's nice. It's also branded to you with the color. It's nice. Nice detail. Redesign. We have no implementation. Is this true? Redesign throughout. Yeah. So we have this Warframe thing and then Horizon. Is that it? Just the two things? I thought there was a third. Oh, yes, the intro is also like a third, kind of. Yeah, so 3 things only, but it's good. And it certainly invites people to look deeper, and you have your implementation stuff right here. So your implementation is covered. I'm not worried. What we got? The thing is, I always say, like, yeah, aim for a minute only, but the thing is, if your stuff kicks ass, they'll happily watch more. And I think you're in that camp right now, so don't worry. This is a loud ambience for this this demo. It's pretty noisy in general, honestly. But again, like these things, the main thing is that you are doing it at all. That's what I'm most concerned about when I see things like this. It's like, oh, they're learning. They want to learn. They're showing a capacity for learning. They're showing an interest in learning. This demonstrates their passion for the work, of course. So that's a big one. Josh bangs implementation drum. Yes. You have one at home there? Oh, fun gun. Whoa! Oh, that deep tone. Cool. Oh! Yeah, you and your synth design. How fun. I would love to hear you talking, though, man. You know? It's, yeah. It's, I think hearing your work is good. Is it here? You talk here?
My name is
Yes.
Viraj Ramsharan, and in this video, my name is Viraj
Viraj. I'm so sorry. I've been saying Viraj this whole time. Viraj Ramsharan.
Ramsharan, and in this video,
Viraj.
I'll be explaining some of the sound systems I use to implement the sounds in the video game Sorcerer's.
See, and there you go, too. Like, even just that alone, I feel like I know you better now.
My name is
just-
Viraj Ramsharan,
I can say your name, you know, accurately. Or more accurately, I guess.
and in this video,
Viraj.
I'll be
Viraj.
explaining some
Viraj.
of the sound systems I use to implement the sounds in the video game Sorcerer's Path.
Yeah, I recall seeing this, I think. And this didn't exist before, right? When's this
Firstly,
dated?
let's take a look at the staff shooting sound.
March
I
of
used
last
Serum
year? Did it
to
exist?
make the sound asset.
Maybe it
And
did.
made sure that it is loopable for however long the player is using the ability.
I feel like we didn't review that long ago, did we? Is that long? Maybe. It was here last time. Okay, fair enough. So I should have known your name this time. Was what you're saying. I apologize. Come on, Kevin. Okay, let's talk about some material selection stuff. So, AAA obviously, actiony stuff obviously. Done. Moving on. Content quality. So I certainly have some ideas and notes here for sure. We talked about like presentations considerations for this this opening bit. I love the design across the board. Fun. I feel your design also. We kind of touched on this, but a big reason I like this intro's design so much is because of this whole concept of yanking someone around, and how I said it's like cinematography, like how much you hard cutting. This is hard cutting, right? We have this clip of the eyes, super close up, and now something completely different after this clip, right? And then we have this stuff close up. What even is this? Who knows? And we have this clip now. So there's like these various things happening back to back to back to back. So the audio design following suit and reflecting that same kind of degree of like jarring nature. We're changing a lot from moment to moment. Of course, it makes sense. If things sounded samey across the board from clip to clip, we wouldn't be keeping up with what's happening visually. So this is, yeah, really nice work, Viraj. Very nice. Nice transition to this too. So this intro here is one of the stronger ones I've seen, like this first 5 seconds or so, the running up, gunfire plus rock debris and stuff. Sounds good. Oh, the high-pitched bullet buys is nice too. This is so big. So big. Into the highs is good. You have a great sense of like shifting your frequency focus over time. Feels great. However, I think that you have room to improve when it comes with or when it comes to, we'll get there. Okay, so I think you've got a great handle on shifting frequency focus from moment to moment. In some cases, like here, this is so cinematic. This, I don't know if I believe that this is the sound it's making, but we're in slow motion, so it's like it's your call as the sound designer, make it big and fun and so forth, right? Here we are. This sizzling and stuff, I believe, feels great. A bit of that very quiet in the background with the. Here's our focus. The sun, so fun. And we fall. we have a bit of a sizzle, a bit of pre-life here. It's there, kind of. This impact, I feel, does not reflect what's happening as accurately as it could, or as one-to-one. There's a lot of movement in this impact. We have the view from above. We can see the effects over time of this impact. It's like a 1-2, right? Like, and then a second shockwave. See that? But the sound is kind of evolving, but it feels like it's telling its own story and not telling this story, you know? So I think some of your feedback from last time, and very common feedback when I see, or when we all see, reels or sound redesigns or whatever that have a lot of like synth focus, if the person's got a lot of synth focus in their design approach in general, it can often be that the sound feels disconnected from the scene. It doesn't feel like it's grounded because it feels too much like someone's just doing this on a synthesizer and like playing with the pitch wheel or something like that, right? It doesn't feel like it's in the world. You've done a great job of making synth stuff feel like it's in the world, like that. The reload in the Unreal demo, super cool. Obviously synth work, but feels like it's coming from the gun, you know? Here, this impact. So if I close my eyes here, or if we just do this, can I just do this? There we go. Can't see it. Press play. Right? Like what story does that tell? Is it here? Right there. It's like, it's really slow moving. It does move, kind of, but like, it's not moving in the same way that it's moving visually. So I think there's certainly room for that. Having some of that EQ frequency focus shifting or movement, like, you have a lot of move, just automate like that, done. A little peak, done. It's going to be better, right? Might not be done, but it'll be certainly improved. Okay. And then here, this sizzling is important in this shot. I don't think it's as important as it is loud. Because the important thing already happened. We had the intro is huge, way important. It's like introducing a new character in the shot almost, right? And it's also giving foreshadowing to what's coming up next. We have this massive explosion. We have all these bodies strewn across our battlefield, and now we're in like the denouement. So this isn't that important anymore. It has its time in the spotlight. Now we're done. Now this guy is like, ooh, hey, me too, right? Check it out. I brought you a little something, something. It's like way, way loud. I think you have some debris falling and stuff around you or something. And like this is kind of loud also, but this shot in general just caught me off guard. I wasn't sure where you wanted our focus to be. You have this movement here is pretty loud. It's like you have the big bang of the debris. Like you have a lot of things that are all loud and they're all fighting for my attention. And this thing is just like, hey, 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 look at me, hey, hey, hey. So I think you have room to maybe have this loud at first and just like pull it back right away in the mix. Like, hey, yeah, here it's still happening, and I just pull it back, make room for footsteps, make room for debris, whatever. But whatever you want to have over time, this is fine, right? An important detail of pulling someone by the scruff of their neck and guiding them around is you can't use both hands. I can't like do this, or you tear the shirt, right? It's not going to work. Suddenly they're like, oh, and they have the freedom to look wherever they want. So it's not really working anymore. And yeah, here I just don't. I think this is the weakest scene in your reel in general, is this moment here. I want to wrap up and move on to Gustav right away here. But so this scene too is like, there is so much happening. And I think you've done a great job of covering the things that are happening. But in terms of like game sound design, I think that the feedback here, again, this is a very creative direction kind of question to answer, but it's like how much chaos do we want to introduce to this scene? How much energy do we want to inject? How on edge do we want the player to feel, etc.? These are all things that would be questions to ask and answer during the development process. So this here, their screams are great. I love them, but it's like, it's so crazy. So Josh says it's too full on. Yeah, there's so much happening, right? Like these creatures, listen to how long their vocalizations are. Like so long, and it's just, the attack is finished, right? Like this leap, watch the action and compare it to the intensity of vocalization and loudness, okay? It's like a 2 second-ish, maybe 3 second long thing, and it sounds awesome, but as Josh is saying, you risk losing a bit of player feedback as everything is competing for space and attention. It's great. That's a great note there. Absolutely. It's like, this is, if you want to create a feeling of chaos, maybe there is a moment, like in a crazy boss fight or crazy sequence, where we actually want to lose player feedback by design. We want the player to feel like they're not sure what's happening. There's so much happening. That can be a very powerful and energetic and memorable moment in a game. Totally. You'd be like, oh my God, that was crazy. And it's crazy because everything's screaming at you. You're trying to like to survive this sequence, right? But this isn't really a sequence. It's just like a thing the player is choosing to engage with in the environment, right? So to have every single time. Just focus on, if we soloed vocalizations only in this clip, there wouldn't be much silence. Like, there's so much vocalization. Listen to vocals only. Like this, who knows what's happening over to the right of the screen right now? Who knows? Because this thing is dominating the mix. There's so much loudness here, and that can be cool. What might work is, Viraj, what I might do here is, if it were me, I might keep the length of the attack, but like pull down the end of it. So you have this, we have the loud part during the attack, during the part that's most important to the player, like, you know, when it's happening, and maybe have some of that kind of like afterthought design. It can go a long way to add a lot of personality and life to a character, for sure. So I love it just from a strictly design standpoint, like sound design standpoint, but from a game design standpoint, it's just risky, and you need to know what you are, understand the ramifications of making that kind of choice. Is you just risk obscuring other things that might be important to the player. Yeah. So, okay. Nice UI moment too. It's cool at the very end. Yeah, like, nice work. It's just, there's so much happening, you know? I'm kind of keen to leave it there. And I know you're saying you're working on the other stuff in your site otherwise, but like, really strong. This is obviously going to get you some attention. Saying, hey, can you pull it back, is a much easier thing to ask than, hey, can you add more? Because add more is like 90% plus of the time when a redesign isn't quite there. It's because it's like 30% designed or something, or half designed. But you put a lot of work into these things, and it's a matter of not just like pulling some things back and focusing in on what's important in the shot, in the cinematic examples, like where it's just a sequence we're watching, and then in the gameplay examples, think of it from like Josh is saying, from an angle of player feedback, and like what are we informing the player of? If we are screaming at them over here, it better not be obscuring something very important over there. That makes sense? So, nice work. Are you signing out? Yeah, of course. I mean, you were last time. I think you've definitely improved since last time. There's some great work in here. And that physicality of, that mix of physicality and synth is clear to see. And it's, yeah, I want to see V3 at some point. It's good. It's going good. It's really good. Nice work. Okay. So the good amount of stuff happening is somewhere between mine and Viraj's. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That might be the answer, for sure. So we'll see if Gustav lands there or not. We'll see where you land on the spectrum here, Gustav. What is this play button? What's happening here? This is a dangerous click. I have no idea what's going to happen when I press this. I love this, though. It's fun, hey? See that? Zooming in. Head stays the same size. Zoom to the Gustav, and then waves for a while, and wall. That's very fun. Very fun. I don't know what you do with my name. Kevin Regimi. It's like Kevin with an N like that, and then like an R. It doesn't quite work. I'm jealous. I want a V ending and W starting. First and surname. Clients. Oh, I read this way. That was weird. Clients down. Okay, various things. Mostly in commercial and film, looks like. Volvo. About, since the release of the NES, video games have had a sacred place in Gustav's heart. See, this is like in strict... Well, I'll finish. The fascination of sound in games began at an early age and led to studies in sound design and music at the University of... I won't even try. Is it like is it X like S in Swedish? Vaxjö? I don't know. That's probably brutally wrong. After many years as film composer, Gustav is focused on game audio and sound design for digital games. Waxshu? Oh, of course W, of course. What? Waxshu? Okay, well, Waxshu. Waxshu, Sweden. Understood. Not Vaxjö. Real bad. Let's press play. Okay. Here we are. Not as dangerous a click as I once thought. Sound design reel. Okay, and down we have film music reel. And then down from here, email. Whoa! It does crazy stuff too. What's happening here? What is going on? What? Why? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing this? Okay, Twitter, yet LinkedIn, yet Instagram. What you got? We have some things, some music, some synth work, some speaking. Cool, good stuff. I asked this, I asked the same question. Why does it do that? These keyboards, so many options. Let's watch your sound design reel. There's not a whole lot here. So that kind of works for our 10 minutes left, actually. So thank you, Gustav. Let's go full screen. Kill my side chain. And let's watch 106. All right. Kevin says, cool teleport transition. That's coal miner audio. That's not me saying in the third person, Kevin says. I agree. Loved it. Right here? Ish. Right here? Very nice. Even like from the same color, same palette, it's nice, you know? Blue to blue. It's cool. If this was all red, that would not be as seamless. Nice work. Okay. So first off, just in general presentation, yeah, site's super bare bones. You knew this. You kind of told me / warned me of this earlier on Twitter. So no worries. Oh, this is a link. Oh, it just goes here. Oh, it goes to the page itself. Okay, that's fine. I might recommend, well, I didn't even see these as links previously, but I may recommend clicking this as this instead, like new window, you know? Whenever you want to go somewhere other than your page, can't hurt to just open a new tab. Okay, so sound design. The thing is, these clients kind of prime me for, how do I put this? I know it's real small in stream, but this says like film, Volvo, meter, television. It's all like film and commercial stuff, right? So this being the top leftmost thing on the page, it's like our first impression, right? So this might even be, if you're serious about working in game sound design, I don't know that I'd lead with this. Because like showing you have client experience and you've shipped things for people, for teams, for corporations, whatever, that's not without value, but it might not be the first thing I'd say if you're working in games. Because again, imagine that you're up against 250 people, right? If it's that many people and they're measuring you up against people like Viraj, whose page is entirely, you know, we have all, this is your Instagram. I mean, this page is like games, right? And the content is almost irrelevant at this point, as far as our current conversation. The content here isn't super important at this juncture. It's just the fact that like this says, game and film, and clients are all not game things. So we have the sound design and film music is half the page, and so is sound design. So we're talking about like the psychological approach to your page more than the actual content itself and the quality of that content. It is just simply, what message are you sending? And so it may be worth doing something like what Zvi Sherman did with his page. We have, here is the home page, Zvi Sherman sound design. What is post sound? And we have, Netflix, Warner, Paramount, ABC, film credits, Fire Festival, etc., right? All these things. But we also have the page that he might send to a game team. And here is the same page, it looks the same. It's featured in sound design, but on this page it's like games. And if you didn't realize it, you didn't realize you're like on a /games.html, you might think this is just his stuff. And the thing is, he's very obviously serious. Like, he's super serious here, of course, right? Doing great. So why would you think like, oh, but it's like also film? I don't care if there's also film. Both pages are strong. They're both good. But there exist two pages out of courtesy to the visitor to the page. So you can send someone to your game sound page, like, gustavwall.com/games.html. You can do that and have your game-focused stuff there. And then send your game clients to that site, because your film music stuff might not matter to them. Or at least it'll be like far less important to them. They want to know what your game's interest and capabilities are, not your film music stuff. And conversely, your film music clients, if you still want to work on that stuff, don't really care about like your Cube implementation demo, right? Like, it's not saying it's not good. It just doesn't matter to them. It's not relevant to their interests. So just think back to the fact that the assumable nature of the industry is that people have many, many candidates to work through as far as who they'll work with. So to minimize their wasted time on your site is going to be a good choice for you. Absolutely. No question. Yeah, separate pages, it's more work. Of course, it's more work, but it is effective. Very effective. Okay, so that said, I know I think you've watched like the talk I gave at GDC with Matthew Martinson, right? So yeah, I know you're on your way. This is like an earlier kind of look at your stuff. Adding some more just content, information, etc. for presentation purposes can't possibly hurt. Having your name here, don't assume that they are watching this from your landing page, like from your homepage. They could be linked to it from anywhere else. So having your name here, just again for impressions, again, Gustav Wall, sound design. can't hurt. Contact info can't hurt. It's here, though, at the end. It's great. Might as well throw it earlier, too. Might as well. Intro. This is... Okay, we'll move into... Yeah, we'll do material selection. So material selection here, next point of criteria. We have Last of Us sound redesign. We have the Cube project, classic. We have Everspace 2. I've never seen Everspace 2 redesign, I'm pretty sure. Rockfish. Aren't they in... Are they Sweden? Are they Germany? I think Germany. I think. We were right beside their booth at TwitchCon a couple years back. Anyway. Yeah, cool redesign. We have Magic Legends, Cryptic, sound redesign. And that's it, right? Yeah. So I'm not mega clear on what you want to do. Germany. Yeah, okay. So this is big AAA start, very cinematic. This suggests to me you want a larger studio gig, probably. This one's a bit smaller. Like not a tiny studio, but it's not huge. And then I have no idea how big Cryptic is. But these are certainly like higher fidelity games. So at least you have that kind of narrowed down. That's cool. So I assume that's the kind of thing you want to work on, I assume. If you don't, then perhaps time for a rethink of what you're putting in here. Next up, we have content quality. So this is kind of going into that. This is like all three of the above. It's like presentation and material selection and content quality, this intro. Because someone said, it was Andrew, wasn't sure about the very quick Naughty Dog cuts. Always find that jarring and hard to set things up. Yeah, the jarring cuts are tricky. It can be cool in terms of like a sound design exercise, and it can be cool for consumers to see like a rapid cuts thing like that. Like, hey, here's a really attention grabbing, again, grab the scarf of the neck. We're doing this, right? For like a minute straight. Crazy stuff in this game, right? Cool. Yes, sure. But from a sound design perspective, it's like borderline rude. It's a bit discourteous because I want to settle in and see, and I want you to tell us a story. Yeah. With your sound design, again, to support and drive that narrative forwards with your sound design work. But a piece like this kind of prevents that from happening ever, because this is designed to not be a story. It's designed to be a bunch of like photographs, snapshots of moments in time. So the sound design isn't really doing any work. It's like it's keeping up with the cinematography and being snapshots, but that's all it is. It's like the sound design snapshots in time. It's not delivering. It's delivering some information because it can sound cool as a snapshot, but it can't tell us anything about your game sound sensibilities. This could easily be an Iron Man 2 trailer, the same approach, snapshots in time of different action moments, and you can design that too. I get the same from it as far as what I can learn about you and your relationship with game sound design. If it's a clip, we'll say like Andrew's had, Last of Us in there, right? So we have a clip where it's gameplay redesigned. I can see what that means to you, how you support things like, or how you approach things like the creative direction on that moment, how it, things like intensity, where you choose to focus the mix over time, what you think is most important, how you might inform player behavior with certain sound cues. There's a lot of opportunities for things you can do in a gameplay clip, or even like in a more cohesive trailer where it's like it's a scene playing out compared to a clip like this. I in general wouldn't recommend doing clips like this. I think you've done a great job on it, and I think that it's not wasted time. Again, it's a great exercise sound design wise, but in terms of being a piece to convince someone, like a piece for which the purpose is convincing someone or a team that you are the best candidate for a job, I don't think that this is the best choice for that kind of purpose. Yeah. So we can talk about it though. Let's do it. heard it the first time too. The growls kind of like they kind of move around. Sounds pitched. You hear that? It sounds like it was pitched the second and third time to add variation, but because they're back to back, it was a little bit of a call out to me. Yeah, and in general, I think that you've designed like the important moments of each thing. So yeah, I was just talking about you. So you've come up like 3 times in this this Real Talk stream. Good to see you. Yes, we have like here, for example, we have the hit on this hit, but there's no like extra movement on the door afterwards. There isn't a lot of Foley. This roof, we have the bark, but there's a lot of movement in that dog beyond the bark. There's a lot of Foley here falling down. Maybe she's fallen into something, and it's like, kind of bumping behind her, debris or a countertop or whatever, right? This hit too. This slam, we hear the shot and the splat. There's all this stuff happening here. Where's that? Big blast there. Rah, big scream here. So it seems like you've kind of covered the important part of each clip, but because it's so fast, it's hard to even sink your teeth into those details, right? Because the details aren't what this kind of piece is about. It's about that like jarring moment-to-moment action. So if you had music over top of this sound design might be enough, because it's so quick that you can't even really see, like, you don't have time to see the details your first time through, right? Anyway, so he says, it's funny that I come up, because when folks hit me up for tips getting into the industry, I point them to the 100+ hours of Real Talk on YouTube. Yeah, cheers. Thanks, pal. I hope we've helped some folks. I hope so. Like beyond those who've been on the stream, of course. Let's move on to the next clip. Cube. It's been a while. Cube, our old friend. We're a bit over time here. 1:34. It's all right. I'll finish this out. I recognize this loop. Is that from something? Is that a library loop? I feel like I've heard that before. I don't know. It's a nice blast into the transition, though. It's cool. I mean, Cube, it's like... Yeah, it sounds as good as Cube usually sounds. Hey, Damien. Lost Chocolate Lab in the chat. We have some game audio royalty joining us today. Good to see you, pal. Let's just move on from Cube. I mean, yeah, good it's here. Good job. Cube is always fun to see. It rarely sounds amazing, but it just, again, does the job of saying, hey, I'm learning and I want to learn more. So it's working. Some cool stuff here. I feel like the ambience is a little oppressive. It's a bit unchanging. Yeah, I think the ambience is pretty loud. One approach here, this is like a general game sound thing. It's relatively, well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's common, but it's certainly a pretty, it's a common solution. We'll put it that way. It's a common option as far as things getting tiring or too loud or not the focus or whatever. It could be that you introduce the ambience at a louder volume and then say in Fmod or Wise or whatever, you say, hey, play that volume for like 15 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever makes sense for the game you're working on, the space you're walking into, or whatever the sound playing is. And then over another period of time, we'll say 15 more seconds or 30 more seconds, we will slowly go down like 6 dB or 12 dB or something. And you predict that you're going down at a time where the player is no longer caring about the ambience. They're doing other stuff. And if you do it right, they shouldn't even realize it's been turned down, and it should just make space for other things that are more important in the mix. And that might be something you could do here, even in this clip. Like have it start louder and then like peter it down over time and have it at a lower level and make more space for your cool weapons and ship design and stuff, yeah? Because yeah, having that change in ambient space, like from this room into this, yeah, hearing the ambience to reflect the change in setting and so forth that we're now watching as the viewers, it's, yeah, arguably important, sure. But it doesn't remain important. Like the space we're in is not the most important part of the story being told after the first like 5 seconds, right? Could work. Like right here, where we have this lull, we kind of hide here briefly. I'm way more interested in what's happening with these clowns up here than I am with what the sound of the space is, you know? Creepy crawlies. Cool footsteps, cool Foley. I think there's more room for ambience here, especially considering how loud the ambience is in this previous clip. It's unchanging, but it's loud. This here, we move into almost none. It's a bit of some air. That's kind of it. Especially in this shot here, it could be good to have some more ambience. Like, there's more little creepy fellas in the background here coming down. Oh no. So there's more than what we're seeing right here. It's all around us, right? Oh, scream. This, I think the squeal is really fun. I think it could be more threatening. This is pretty, like the scream is arguably quieter than the feet. You know? Yeah. So the scream, again, from a gameplay perspective, the scream might be the warning. Hey, attack coming, player. Get ready. Who knows? That's fun. However, I will now hide the display and press play and ask you, how many characters do you think there are and how many attacks happened? 3, 2, 1, and. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes? I know you've all seen it already. I understand. But the point I'm making here is these attacks all sound fine, but the fire is fiery, certainly. The follow-up to impacts are pretty similar, right? There's a bit of like a slice or like a kind of thing on this on the third one. 1, 2. We hear the stabs happening, I think, but that sounds a lot like this woof. Yeah. So there's room here to tell more of a story. My first time watching this, I wasn't certain if it was the same person doing all the attacks, because it sounded like it was the same kind of like color on each hit, yeah? In terms of EQ, there's more room for like more on the stabs, more sharpness, maybe some metal, you know, on these little heads and the spears. We have some more room. I'm not sure what's even happening in this one. I don't know what this is. Some magic thing, some force push. I don't know what that is. I don't know. But yeah, room to change up kind of the design on that attack for sure. Yeah, this here, the leap, we just don't hear it all. Up. So the cool design. However, yeah, the 100% metal gore stab will sell the brutality of the kill. I admit, I didn't even know there were spiders on those spears until I watched it in slow motion and paused here. I didn't even see these spiders. I think I just didn't even internalize like what had taken place. So, and it's very fast. So who can blame me? But having some sound support there is, like I was saying, you're supporting the narrative. You're helping drive it forwards, and having that with some spider squeals and so forth can help sell that. This moment here is back into our what's the most important thing in the narrative. Let's bring that to the front of the mix. And this here is important right now, certainly. No, don't do it. Spider's like, but I wanna. And then we have this happening, and this is in the background. This is no longer the most important thing happening in the scene. It's important, not the most important. This is most important. Look at the blocking, right? Way up front. And then, center stage, right in front of us. Pretty close, you know? Like a 2/3 shot. We're up, and now this is loud in our face. Oh no, little sharp thing. Sure, but this here, listen to the loudness of this element over the course of these 5 seconds or so. It kind of stays the same, especially from this shot to this shot. It's already full volume by this point right here, and stays that same volume right there. Check it out. You know? So this here, because this is so loud, it's making it easy. Like Gustav, I imagine you watch this back, nearing completion in your eyes, and you went, oh, this scene sounds pretty full, because you've done all this sound design work, and you're correct. It does sound pretty full. The question is it full of the right thing, or perhaps the most relevant thing? So we have this. There's a lot going on, like aurally, but it's not this part. So you hear it back like, yep, sounds pretty full, correct. But this here is for sure got to be heard. It's going up. We have that precursor, and then back down, right? Without that intro of the jump, we don't even know what happened in this shot, right? Who knows? This here is a classic. This is very, very common feedback I'll give to up-and-comers in sound design for large things with large footsteps. Oftentimes it's do, do, do only, and without the kind of the details and articulation, like the sound of things crunching out of the feet, the rocks, the gravel crunching, or the debris of foliage moving, or wood snapping, logs, who knows? I mean, what is this character running over? It's kind of up to you, right? But if you close your eyes here, good job on selling the footsteps ahead of time. We have the characters like, oh, what's that? They are hearing something. So is the viewer of this video, right? We have that sold. However, this is approaching very quickly. So it shouldn't be quite so distant. Like distant T-Rex Jurassic Park kind of thing. We don't have that anymore. We have we definitely can hear the logs breaking under the weight of this beast. We can hear various stuff. Just, it's kind of a bit of a white canvas, right? You can just choose to say oh, sounds like this. We're running over this stuff. You have room to just help sell more, even though we might not be seeing the details of it. We can have ripping through foliage, etc., etc. Some birds flying away. Sure, Louis, there you go. We have room to just tell our own story, fill in some blanks. Even this tail is swinging around. Look how big the tail is. It's huge. Look how big this is. That's for sure hitting stuff on the way in here, right? So that final hit, we have some. But that is kind of all we have. And then let's listen, ignore the vocalization. Think about Foley only. Right. And it stops. There's nothing else. There's no debris scattering. There's no additional after effects of pushing through foliage or anything, right? There's a lot of room for further details. You've got a lot of great foundation work here, but just keep going. Basically, keep doing more detail work on all this stuff. And again, think about where your mix is guiding the viewer's attention over time. Are you helping tell the story or not, or as effectively as you could? Thanks, Gustav. Are you standing out in some way yet? I think that you're not quite there, and I mean you know this. You have more work to do in terms of your site in general, And in terms of maybe dividing your page across like film stuff and game stuff, Zvi style, transient gamers style. Yeah, a lot of stuff to work on here. But I know you're aware of a lot of it, so I'm not gonna hammer it home too much. But yeah, great work. I mean, you've obviously done like a lot of work so far. So kudos. Just keep it going. You know, keep it going. All right, cheers. Okay, ran long because I scheduled 3 people. I can't help but just keep it going. You know, I can't just cut off the advice or my thoughts before we've got a full picture. You know, naturally. So thank you everyone for hanging out as long as you have, and I guess I'll look to. I got to do some scheduling for future Real Talks pretty soon, but yeah. Until then, I guess 2 weeks from now, I guess I'll go back over to our friend, the stunts main menu. Damien, you know this one? It's good, right? That ad-lib sound. It's too good. All right. Buzzy Beetle, you've learned so much and you don't do sound things. Not yet. Maybe. Natasha says, is it a new viewer count record? No, not even close. No. I mean, well, typically for like only me streams on camera, it'll be somewhere from like 35 to 70, like somewhere in that range. And if we have certain guest hosts, it can get into the hundreds. It depends. But anyway, yeah, we had some front page time a while back too, and had like several thousand. That was hilarious. Like, who cares about game audio demo reels? People looking to watch Fortnite gameplay, learning about controlling the narrative. Okay. Thanks all. I'll see you next time. Yes? Cheers. Gonna get copyright strikes over these hot tunes. Okay, see ya.